Hello, my dear friend. Let me begin by reminding you that you did not stumble onto this moment by mistake. You didn't just click here randomly. Heaven has its timing, and destiny has its patterns, and this message has reached you because this is the exact season you were meant to hear it. Think about it. How many times in your life did you find yourself asking, God, are you still with me? Am I still on the right path? Did I miss something? And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still searching, and God is still whispering, yes, I am here. Yes, I never left. Yes, you are further than you think. The truth is, the test you walked through is already over. You are standing on the other side, even if it doesn't feel like victory just yet. Scripture tells us in Isaiah 43:2, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned. Notice how God says when, not if. You have passed through, and you are still here, stronger than you realize. But life has a way of distracting us. We get consumed with the noise of the material world, the endless cycle of headlines, the pressure to keep moving, producing, achieving, and surviving. And in that noise, we sometimes fail to recognize that change has already happened inside of us. We expect transformation to shout, to be loud, to be announced with fireworks or dramatic signs. But real transformation often arrives quietly. It comes like a whisper in the middle of the night. It doesn't crash in, it seeps in. It is written in 1 Kings 19:12 that Elijah did not find God in the wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in the gentle whisper. That is how God often moves. And if you are quiet long enough, if you pause long enough, you will realize that the whisper has already reshaped your soul. You weren't ignored. You weren't abandoned. You didn't miss your moment. The transformation simply came in a way you didn't expect. Think about the prayers you've prayed. You asked God for strength. But how does strength come? Not by comfort, but by resistance. James 1:2-3 says, count it all joy when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. Strength was built in you when you faced the obstacles that forced you to rise. You asked for love, and love came not just through romance or comfort, but often through heartbreak, through letting go, through discovering that the well of God's love within you never runs dry. You prayed for abundance, and instead of immediate overflow, you faced scarcity. Why? Because God wanted you to see that true abundance flows from within, not from what the world gives or takes. Philippians 4:12-13 says, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. You had to walk through both to discover the fullness of blessing. This is how heaven teaches. This is how God shapes his vessels. And here's the truth that I want you to carry today. You already passed the test. You endured the storm. You walked through the valley of the shadow of death and did not collapse. Psalm 23 doesn't say you will stay in the valley. It says you will walk through it. And you did, even when no one else noticed. Even on the nights when your prayers seemed unanswered and your strength seemed gone, you kept moving forward. You didn't just survive, you were being prepared. Because the last piece of the puzzle isn't about fighting harder or proving yourself again. The final piece is about becoming the vessel that can hold what you prayed for. God doesn't just pour blessings into random hands. He chooses vessels, hearts that are prepared, minds that are steady, souls that will not misuse his gift. 2 Timothy 2:21 says, "If anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, he will be a vessel for honorable use, set apart as holy, useful to the master, ready for every good work." That is you. You have been refined in fire, shaped in storms, tested in silence, and trusted with more than you know. Yes, doubt tried to bury you. Yes, comparison tried to steal your joy. But God has not been surprised by your questions or your struggles. He saw the tears. He heard the groans too deep for words. Romans 8:26 says, "The Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words." Even when you couldn't form the prayer, heaven still translated your heart. And here's something most people miss. Tests repeat until the lesson is learned. There were places you left, relationships you walked away from, choices that didn't make sense to anyone else. But deep down, you knew they were unsafe for your soul. That wasn't weakness. That was wisdom. That was faith. You passed those hidden tests. And now, heaven is whispering something new. The trial is over. You're stepping into the proving ground of blessing. The life you prayed for is not far away. In fact, it's closer than you think. Maybe, just maybe, it's already here. It may not announce itself with loud fanfare, but it will reveal itself through alignment, through timing, through doors that open naturally, through opportunities that feel like they were made for you. Because this was never just about what you would receive. It was about who you would become. And you, my friend, have become someone heaven can trust. You have become someone who will not lose themselves in blessing. God trusted you with storms, and you remained faithful. Now he is ready to trust you with favor. Deuteronomy 28:12 promises, "The Lord will open to you his good treasury, the heavens, to give the rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hands." The rain is coming. The season is shifting. The test is behind you. I know it didn't feel like passing. It felt like loss. It felt like silence. It felt like waiting forever. It felt like people misunderstanding your path, minimizing your pain, reducing your journey to maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But they didn't see what God saw. They didn't see that you weren't being punished. You were being prepared for something heavier, holier, and more enduring than what you thought you were asking for. Because strength doesn't come wrapped in ribbons. It comes from standing when storms should have crushed you. Love isn't always about someone staying. Sometimes it's revealed when someone leaves, forcing you to discover the eternal love of God that never departs. Abundance isn't proven in overflow. It's proven in drought, when you learn that joy is not dependent on circumstances. The fact that you are still here listening to these words means you passed. You may have stumbled, you may have cried, you may have wanted to quit 100 times, but you didn't quit on God, and God never quit on you. Heaven saw the nights you wrestled with doubt, but still whispered a prayer. Heaven saw the mornings you kept going when you had nothing left to give. Heaven saw you choose faith, one shaky step at a time. That is what passing looks like. Not perfection, but perseverance. And don't miss this. The test wasn't in a classroom with clear questions and answers. The real test was hidden in your ordinary days, in the quiet choices no one else saw, In the moments where you felt invisible, but God was watching closely. You've passed through loneliness. You've passed through misunderstanding. You've passed through rejection. And those things didn't break you. They shaped you. The very difference that made others walk away is now the very difference that sets you apart as chosen. The loneliness that once hurt became the soil for intimacy with God. And that intimacy is your unshakable foundation. So don't be surprised when new doors swing wide. Don't second guess it when your name is spoken in rooms you've never stepped into. Don't hesitate when favor moves faster than your doubts. This isn't random. This is the fruit of your faithfulness. You didn't miss your chance. You didn't fail your assignment. You endured, and now heaven is ready to honor it. And the blessing won't just be private reassurance. It will be public, visible, undeniable. It will make even those who counted you out say, "Only God could have done this." But remember, the blessing is not about proving people wrong. It is about proving God right. Proving that heaven was correct to trust you with weight, with responsibility, with legacy. So even if you still feel some fear, even if you still have questions, step forward anyway. Because readiness isn't about never being afraid. Readiness is about moving even when you are. Joshua 1:9 reminds us, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." You don't go alone. You never did. So stand tall. Don't minimize what you've walked through. Don't pretend it was nothing. It was everything, and heaven noticed it. Your name has already been spoken in places you haven't reached yet.